This is the first video I saw being recommended a lot, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of really wanted to talk about it. It's called The Infantilization of Certain JoJo Bizarre Adventure Characters. Now, immediately you could see Doppio was in the thumbnail, but I'm really interested to see if it's just gonna be a discussion on Doppio or if it's gonna be on something else.
Infantilization is the act of treating someone who is not a child as if they are a child, and that is an issue within the JoJo's
Also, tell me
community
if
because
the audio's
almost
good.
all the fandom does it with some of their favorite characters or some certain characters. It's like they have to make them seem like they're younger than they are, or like they're more innocent, when most of the time these characters are real life killers. Like they kill, you see them in the show kill crazy amounts of people. This has always been an issue to me because why? I see people, for example, Doppio. Doppio gets mischaracterized within the JoJo community so actually crazy. To some people, it's actually crazy. Like when people actually do Diablo deep dives and like Diablo slash Doppio deep dives, they're good usually. But the people that don't and just like him, oh my god. They'll act like he's innocent in all this, like he would be the one with a normal life or something. No, he is equally a psychopath. Doppio was excited to pick up the phone almost every time it rang, ecstatic. He was so loyal to the boss, he had no qualms over killing or trying to kill people. I mean, y'all saw him try to sneak risotto like what, 3 times?
So this is an interesting thing. What do I think about the infantilization of Doppio? And I feel like some people do treat him, and this isn't just some people, and this isn't even just a JoJo thing. A lot of anime fans have problems, making certain characters ooh, making them a little cinnamon roll, making them the little baby they have to protect, even though they themselves are either killers, they have the capacity to beat people up, they have a lot of these powers and a lot of these abilities, and a lot of people still treat them like the little babies, like they're like this little like 12-year-old that needs protection. And Doppio I could see being one of them. To be fair, Risotto was trying to kill Doppio, so he was justified to try to kill him back. Yeah, that's true. And I was going to say that as well, because, Doppio, I was going to say this, and I don't know if he's going to say it, but Doppio is also a victim of Diavolo. If it is true that, Doppio was the secondary character, that he was the secondary personality that Diavolo created, then in the way Doppio is kind of a victim because Diavolo was just manipulating him. Because remember, in that fight also, he was saying, my dear Doppio, my naive Doppio, he was treating him like a little kid. So Diavolo himself was also infantilizing Doppio, but that was to manipulate him so he could do his bidding, so he can, strike when things were doing good. And yeah, you're right. Risotto was trying to kill Doppio, because once he saw he was a little suspicious, immediately he started to try to interrogate him with torture, and that's when Doppio had to step in. Diavolo stepped in and said, hey, make sure you don't get caught lacking or we're both dead,
What are we talking about? Even after that, you have scenes like with the fortune teller, where he could have controlled himself. He could have literally just walked away and pulled his arm and told him, no, leave me the fuck alone, and just kept it moving, kept being quote unquote nice. But instead, he allowed his rage to take over and he started choking him out and decided to fucking kill him. Now, that was probably an equal decision from both of them, but they both decided to kill that man. I haven't even brought up what he did to Abakio.
Diavolo secretly
Doppio
Anasui.
who did that. That was Doppio.
I gonna lie, if Anasui had King Crimson, Stone Ocean would have been a lot different.
That whole time he was on the island, Doppio was on the island, he never changed fully into Diablo. I want that to be known. All the heinous acts that happened on the island, he never changed into Diablo. That was Doppio. Boss's orders, but it was still Doppio who did that. He had no qualms hitting that man in the stomach off guard, sneaking that man. None. As a matter of fact, Doppio also had no issues trying to hunt down a group of gangsters within their ranks because they quote unquote betrayed the boss by not killing a 15-year-old. He had no qualms by doing that. You know, in multiple personality disorder, usually there can be personalities that disagree.
That was Diavolo who killed the fortune teller. He killed Abakio. That was Diavolo. That's true. That's true. I agree. I feel like Hokage is trying to basically imply that Doppio isn't this innocent guy, that he also has a part in killing these characters, doing these heinous acts. And he's right. It's just that the thing is, Diavolo is the one who's mostly, he's the problem. He's the one who's doing everything. He's the one telling Doppio, hey, kill this guy, kill him. Make sure we don't get caught. Yeah, Diavolo was there. He was essentially gaslighting Doppio. He was telling him, hey, don't get caught. We can't get caught. If anything happens, we're done, both of us. And of course, he was telling him the comments of my sweet Doppio. So, yeah, I feel like that's what he's thinking of. He's basically saying that we shouldn't just 100%. That's Diavolo, because Doppio is his own personality. That's the whole point of the character. I agree that Doppio isn't a saint, but he's not pure evil like a pure evil character. Oh, 100% not. That's Diavolo. Since he was born, remember, he came out of his mother with no emotion. He didn't come out crying. He didn't come out with any emotion. He was just staring. And I don't know if he was planning it out since he was a kid or anything, but remember, he killed his little village and the caretaker, that was the priest, or that was the pastor or whatever. Yeah, and we don't even know if Doppio even existed at that point. It could be that after the burning of his village, he created Doppio just so he can, properly escape and maneuver himself. Maybe that's why Doppio has the appearance of a 15-year-old boy.
Both of them were on the same fucking page. Why? But people give him so much of a pass because, oh, Diablo's the one who's clearly crazy. Both of them are clearly crazy. You know why? They're in the same head. They have the same brain. Now let's talk about Johnny Joestar, because that's another.
Alright, so we might as well finish the Doppio and Diavolo discussion, because that's the final thing. He's going to move on to Johnny. And Johnny, that one makes a lot of more sense, in my opinion, than Doppio. Doppio, to be fair, he's not really a good guy. It's a deal with he's a person, split personality. Exactly. He's another personality. It's one body, two personalities. I've not seen SBR. Ooh, man, I don't know if you should, spoilers.
Because one of the reasons I made this video in the first place is I literally saw this image that literally encapsulated how some people treat Doppio and Diavolo.
Both bad people, just in different ways. Actually, A is completely irredeemable, but B is 100% innocent and was just manipulated by A in any wrongdoings they ever did, because A is evil. If A didn't exist, B would be a completely innocent Uwu cinnamon roll who would do no wrong ever in their entire life. See his argument.
And how, they treat him like, well, Doppio's the evil one, Diavolo's the good one. I mean, reverse that. Diablo's the evil one, Doppio's the good one. No.
Not too much on that guy, not too much.
This genre tweet where it's like, for example, Narancia, he's such a good kid. He's such a good kid. He didn't do anything to nobody. The same Narancia that smashed the glass into a random guy's face, started beating the fuck out of him. That guy, that guy, he didn't do nothing to no one. Are you kidding me? I just wish y'all started treating them more like late stage teenagers / gangsters / adults, because a lot of JoJo characters are just adults. A lot of them, don't get me wrong, early 20s, maybe 30s, maybe 40s, some of them teenagers, younger than that, whatever. Those, treat them like a kid, whatever.
A lot of them are like teenagers. The problem is they're teenagers with attitude, teenagers with a lot of problems. Narancia, do people really say that Narancia's this innocent guy if things haven't happened? I'm pretty sure he's like a crash out. He's also a little bit of a dum dum because he had no education, but that's to say the least. This video, isn't it? Yeah, I could see. I think his issue is that people immediately say. It's just that people have a certain fondness for a character, which is why they want to see them in a better light, and why they make them innocent. So a lot of people probably they probably feel bad about Doppio. Spoilers: he died in part 5. I mean, Diavolo also died in part 5, but he died kind of in a sad way when he was reaching out for the boss. Remember, he was saying, "Boss, where are you?" when he was dying in Bucciarati's body. So I feel like a lot of people feel bad for him in that regard. I think his point isn't saying that Narancia is evil. I think his point is saying that Narancia isn't this ooh little boy, but he's a gangster. He's 17. He doesn't look like it because he's like malnourished, but he's like a 17-year-old who probably catched a couple bodies. Hey, he did in part 5. He's killed like 3 gang members.
But how are you gonna treat this fucking 18-year-old gangster like he's not out here shooting people? Come on. I don't know, bro. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, we're on the road to 5K, so anything helps. And until next time, peace.
Well, it's a video nonetheless. Got a lot of issues, or not a lot of issues, but this video, I could see a lot of its main points get invalid. But I think his video was good. You know, he's a young man. He's starting off doing his YouTube channel. You know, not too much on his voice. You know, things. You know, my stuff wasn't that bad. You know, I know how nervous it is. I think I saw his channel. He barely created it like this year or last year, so not too much. Remind you in the scene with the taxi driver after the whole finger behind the eyeball action. Oh yeah, he did do that. Doppio is the one actively advocating for the death of the driver. Yeah, Doppio isn't an innocent guy. It's just that he's like a kid, you know? If you're around like a lot of death and a lot of killing, especially when the guy that you're looking up to kills in order to be safe, in order to not get their themselves out there so they can be hidden from the public, of course Doppio is going to be the one that was like, hey, we should just murk this taxi driver right now. We need to get rid of him immediately for the boss. And the boss is like, look, I'm okay with killing, but like at the same time, we can't just kill everybody. We also got to make sure people don't go missing, because that could lead us to people investigating and leading to us. And that makes sense, because they're going to be like, holy shit, he died. Who was the last person? It was this little kid with pink hair. They start looking for him, more shit to the boss, you know? The fact that people seem to infantilize Doppio kind of confirms how effective a cover he is for Diavolo. That's true. That's true. Not a lot of people suspected this 15-year-old boy to be the boss. Still stupid though, even given Doppio's within the organization regarded as second to the boss, as in the boss of extremely brutal organized crime syndicate. The whole point is Doppio looks harmless, but is in reality one of the most dangerous stand users. Yeah, that's the point of Diavolo. He has 2 personalities. I think that's why Araki made the character, is that he was interested in the 2 personalities, 1 body thing, and he did it amazing way. Spoilers. I'm pretty sure you know about Johnny being disabled, but definitely that does make a reason why Johnny's infantilized or ubu little boy. Is there any other JoJo videos? There is. Don't worry. Might as well just finish this up. Gappy gets infantilized. I feel like that's because like people love their relationship with Yashuho. Narancia gunned down Risotto without even seeing him just because they knew an enemy was near. Oh, wait. Narancia didn't gun down Risotto. Risotto took control of Aerosmith and was gonna blast himself with the boss, but the boss used King Crimson. Duppy was especially funny because that man is in his 30s. Motherfucker knees pop when he stands up. Oh my god, bro. That's true. Bro, I'm no longer in my teens, bro. I'm in my 20s. I know about that. Shit. But it's also kind of cool that Doppio, like, he is so hidden. He, like, goes... Narancia shot him first. Oh, yeah. My fault. He did. Yeah. You're right. He did. I forgot that he did it. And the boss, Doppio used that to his advantage because he was leaking so much blood. He wasn't having enough oxygen. You're right. My bad. Yeah. My bad. Nah. Really, I think he's like a college student, so not too much on the guy. But yeah. This guy's on the come up. He's making these JoJo videos. We'll see what he's up to.